Right, let's get straight into the lead, the case against the alleged instigators of the 2021 civil unrest has been postponed in the Durban High Court. Now, two of the accused were, however, absent from the proceedings. The court issued a stayed warrant of arrest for both of them. The 65 accused, aged between 29 and 62, are mostly residents of KwaZulu-Natal, with some from the Free State and Gauteng. They're facing multiple charges, which include sedition, conspiracy to commit terrorism, and conspiracy to commit murder. The conspiracy to commit murder charge relates to the state's allegation that the accused conspired to kill Chief Justice Raymond Zondo. That's following former President Jacob Zuma's 15-month prison sentence for contempt of court. It comes after Zuma had refused to appear before the Commission of Inquiry into allegations of state capture chaired by Zondo.
The 65 accused made a brief appearance at the Durban High Court. Several of the accused have changed their private legal counsel and applied for legal aid, citing financial reasons. They are facing multiple charges, which include sedition, conspiracy to commit terrorism, and conspiracy to commit murder. The state says they acted in common purpose in the period during the civil unrest by coordinating to destabilize the economy and cause the destruction of private and public property. The state says Zuma's supporters, including the accused, were disgruntled by the Constitutional Court's decision and publicly campaigned against his imprisonment through gatherings and social media posts. The accused allegedly created several WhatsApp groups with the intention of organizing and inciting violent incidents of looting.
Well, the state is intending on putting its best case forward. The matter is on the court roll, and we rely heavily on evidence and investigations. The reason for the adjournment is that a few of the accused who were previously represented by private counsel have now opted for legal aid, and it's for that reason that the matter had to be adjourned to the 23rd of May.
The accused have been instructed by the court to finalize their legal representations. The matter was adjourned until May for a pre-trial conference. I'm Nonhlani Pumakwaza for SABC News in Durban.
Right, to unpack the complexities of prosecuting those accused of instigating the July 2021 unrest, we're now joined by legal expert Mpumelelo Zikalala. Mpumelelo, very good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time. One would have thought that this case would be reaching some sort of middle ground, or perhaps even nearing finality. I mean, all of this took place in 2021, more so, after it showed that the costs were pretty high for the South African economy, 50 billion rand and over 300 people dead. What has been the delay?
Definitely. Good evening. Firstly, good evening to you and also to your viewers. I think the problem here is the manner in which this matter has been investigated and the manner in which it is being prosecuted now. Well, you may forgive investigators because they need to be thorough, they need to collect all the investigations and the tools and the evidence which is going to be utilized so that when they go to court, they come back with a conviction. But it's a different story when it comes to prosecuting now, because if you have 65 individuals as co-accused, it means that if two or even one of those individuals is not available on that day, that matter has to be postponed. Now, it does not make any litigation strategy why you have to increase those number of individuals. Why not pick the ones that you are going to deem as being the real or the core instigators, the mastermind, and say to them, we are going to focus on you, even if it's 3 or 4 of you, so that it makes prosecution much easier. We can then prosecute others as we go along and when the evidence is being collected, and do it in a shortened phases, and not to do it in what is happening now in this big chunk, because there's certainly going to be delays which are going to be enjoyed, as we are seeing today. Those delays still continue. Yeah. So it's just a matter of saying that let's evaluate litigation strategy to make sure that we come back with the conviction.
But we know that one individual, Mdumiseni Zuma, has been sentenced to 12 years in jail by the Pietermaritzburg High Court, becoming the first of the so-called July instigators to be sentenced for this deadly violence. What are some of the complexities that come with prosecution in this matter?
The most glaring one would be the causation part of it, to say, but for the conduct of the individuals that are in the dock, then the instigation or the looting or the destruction to property then took place. So there has to be a very close causal connection between the conduct and the acts of those individuals and the results that resulted on that particular day. It may be easy if you look at the communication details, maybe let's say network or cell phone details of the accused, to say you participated in this WhatsApp group, you issued these instructions, you participated in this social media posting, you are then inciting people to go and say, please go and loot, or join us in the looting which is going to take place. Or even better, you even took part in that looting processes. There are fingerprints that are obtained from the premises and other places in which the looting actually took place. So if you don't have those direct evidential material, then it makes it difficult for you as a state to prosecute this matter. Remember, you have the burden of proof that says you must prove beyond reasonable doubt that the individual who was sitting in the box is indeed the one that participated in the looting and the instigating. If you don't have that, you're not going to come back with the conviction.
And the processes that will need to follow and the questions that will need to be asked, with the state saying that they've got the allegation that the accused conspired to kill Chief Justice Raymond Zondo. How will the state go about trying to bring about reasonable doubt in terms of evidence to prove that? Okay, I believe we may have lost legal expert Mpumelelo Zikalala, of course, trying to give us, help us make some sense of the case against the alleged instigators of the 2021 civil unrest. We will, of course, continue to try and get hold of him so we can get more clarity on some of the complexities which come with the prosecution in this case. So that conversation continuing in a short while. Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. Let's take you back to the conversation around the case around the alleged instigators of the 2021 civil unrest being postponed in the Durban High Court today. We are joined by legal expert Mpumelelo Zikalala to continue expanding on this matter. Mpumelelo, welcome back. Thanks for joining us once again. Before we got cut off, I was asking you about how the state will go about proving the conspiracy to commit murder charge relating to the state's allegation that the accused were conspiring to kill Chief Justice Raymond Zondo.
First, it should be the identification of the accused, to say these are the individuals that were planning or that were part of the planning to kill the Chief Justice. This is how they planned it. It was a purpose of order and the doctrine of common purpose. They even actioned their plans. So it was a plan which was going to be actioned within a few hours or within a few days. And this is how they were planning to do it. In fact, it's a very serious crime. If they can be able to prove it and to say this is the active participation of each of the 65 participants and they issue the doctrine of common purpose, then it would be easy to prosecute the accused as they're in the box. But it's going to be a normal task to try and link all of them, even though you have that doctrine of common purpose, to say this is the intention that all the accused have. This is how they planned or actively participated in the conspiracy.
Mm-hmm. The state says it intends to put its best case forward in this regard, and that the matter, of course, is on the court roll, and that the reliance will be evidence-backed. We speak about the number of so-called alleged instigators. How best will the state be able to structure this case with the massive number of the so-called instigators?
In fact, I think this is one of the highest numbers that you've ever had in our South African courts as being co-accused. And it's going to make litigation or prosecuting the 65 individuals very difficult. Remember, we still have to balance the Section 35 rights that is available to each of the single accused or 65 accused of having the trial start and end within the shortest or reasonable amount of time. And you cannot then blame the non-attendance of other legal reps, non-attendance of other accused, so that the trial isn't able to move forward. So I do anticipate that at some point in time, there is going to be a separation of trial. Maybe it will to be the state, up to the state to say then, well, we know who the perceived masterminds are. Let's isolate them and let the other ones maybe be prosecuted separately, but the ones that in which we want for them to get hefty sentences, then you can allocate those, separate those charges and deal with them differently.
Yeah.
There is another avenue which is available to the accused, which is make an application of unreasonable delay, in which they'll say, come to the court and say, we've been here 6 or 4 times. The matter has been delayed not because of us, but because of other individuals. Either remove us or do not prosecute against us or withdraw these matters and then only call us when you've got your house back in order, or make sure that there's a separation of trials is taking place so that you can get this matter done and dusted.
With this matter being adjourned until May for a pre-trial conference, what can we expect as that process gets underway?
One would have expected that probably they've already received the statements, so from now or up until the rest of the month, each and every single counsel that is there would go back and speak with their clients, consult extensively, file any request for further particulars if needs be, and to come back on the next occasion and say, we have looked at all the statements, here are a number of witnesses that we are going to come with, are the interpreters which are going to be required. So when you ask whether we are ready to go to trial, yes, we are. And also, we have cleared our diaries, which is something I would have presumed we would have discussed today. And when it comes to maybe the fourth or the third term, here are the data which are available in, then the trial can be able to start. It may be a bit of a problem if some are going to come maybe on the next occasion and say, we've only been briefed a few days ago, we haven't received a chance to go through the statement, give us some more time. That's causing further delays.
Yeah, very well. Thank you so much for weighing in on this discussion. That, of course, was legal expert Mpumelelo Zikalala helping us unpack and make sense of some of the complexities which come with prosecuting the alleged instigators of the July 2021 unrest.